All right, welcome back to Virtual Wellness Day. We're just going to have a presentation from Vanesa Sale, our fabulous massage therapist. And she's going to teach us how to do self-reflexology. Vanessa is extremely talented. She performs cupping and acupressure, reflexology, and she's training to be an osteopath as well. So thank you, Vanessa.
Hi, Christine. Thank you so much for having us today and hosting this Wellness Day. Hi, if I haven't met you yet, my name is Vanessa, and I have been a registered massage therapist for almost 5 years now. At Lavender Lane, the services I offer are registered massage therapy with modalities that focus on acupressure, reflexology, and cupping. And all of these aim to help relieve physical manifestations of pain and stress, as well as promoting an overall mind body wellness by taking the stress off of our muscles, joints, and nervous system. Additionally, I also offer Reiki sessions as a complementary aid to addressing the other aspects of pain. Whether that's emotional, mental, and spiritual pain. With that all combined, I strive to help conditions such as relieving the symptoms of headaches, fatigue, depression, anxiety, back and neck pain, and really any soft tissue injuries that are caused by either physical trauma, such as accidents, slips and falls, or sports injuries, or just repetitive strain injuries that come from, say, if you're working at a desk and you're doing a lot of the same movement over and over again, or hunching over in one spot for a long period of time. And all that can load a lot of stress into the body. And as we all know, as stress starts to build up, then pain starts to arise. And that's usually a signal that our body is in need of dire care and some rest. At the moment, like Christine mentioned, I'm currently waiting to hear back on the Manual Osteopathy Association. So hopefully I can get that certification soon under my belt and bring that to Lavender Lane. And additionally, I'm also waiting on a pregnancy massage course that's just been affected by the lockdown and all the regulations. But if you know anyone who is pregnant or thinking about getting pregnant, please send them our way. And I'd be happy to answer any questions about how our modalities at Lavender Lane can play a role in managing the discomforts and aches that may arise during their journey. I'm going to talk a little bit about my style and how I approach pain. It's derived from both Western and Eastern teachings. So what that means is that I take a global approach with my clients, meaning that yes, we will most certainly address the main issue that you come to see me for. But on top of that, I'm also going to offer suggestions within my scope of practice to help correct the source of the pain as much as humanly possible. And on top of just everything I've learned from when I started school for massage therapy, I've also had my own experience with soft tissue injuries. Growing up, I played a lot of sports in school, basketball, soccer, mainly softball, and a little bit of tennis here and there. And in my young adulthood years, I discovered dance and yoga. So I've definitely run into a number of situations where I've injured myself, and that's what actually led me to massage therapy and the whole world of manual therapy and holistic healing. So one thing that I've learned from my journey, one of the biggest takeaways, is that pain is so subjective and it's different for everyone. It can be identified, measured, and approached in various ways, which is why we're so lucky to have the access to the many, many talented practitioners at Lavender Lane. So as I've mentioned, I've also been on a journey of managing my own chronic pain. And as I said, I've learned so much from the practitioners that I've met here. So that being said, reflexology, which is why we're here. So reflexology is actually an ancient technique that goes thousands of years back. You'll find literature in where reflexology is mentioned in um, Egyptian culture, Chinese culture, like all throughout the world. And although the styles and the teaching styles have varied throughout the years, one thing that is the same all throughout, the same core belief, is that our hands and feet are actually a map of our body. So what that means is that um, when we look at our hands and our feet, there are certain points that are actually connected from the hand to certain various parts of our body, which we will be addressing today. And the theory is that by stimulating these reflex points that are connected to the various parts of the body, it helps to release physical and energy blocks. My mentor calls them crystals because when you start to stimulate them and there's actually something blocking, it may feel a little bumpy, a little crusty, almost crystal-like, and it can be very sensitive to touch. So we'll keep that in mind as we go along. So one of the cool things about performing reflexology on yourself is that even if you don't have a lot of time to address all the points, there are certain main points that are quite powerful and can elicit a change in as little as 10-15 minutes, and that's working on both your hands. And the cool thing is that the hands and the feet, as I said, they're maps of the body. So you'll find the same reflex points on your hands as you do on the feet. So before we get started, just things to keep in mind when we're stimulating these reflex points. We're working with a very light pressure. Not much pressure is needed to stimulate the reflex points. And if we're working with a point that feels extra sensitive for you, go with what you can tolerate. Go lighter with the pressure if you need to. But if you find that you can sit with the discomfort, then I invite you to lean in and lean into it. Okay, so that being said, I am just going to switch my camera to the reflexology cam. Okay, I think that should be fine. Okay. All right. So before we get started, I have a little blanket here because if you are sitting at the desk right now, if you have a pillow or a blanket near you just to rest your hands on, just be more comfortable, we will be in this position for about like 10-15 minutes. So settle in, take the time to ground yourself and allow yourself to settle in. And we're going to begin just by rolling the wrist. So going in one direction, nice and slow, just feeling where the tension is in your wrists. And just take a deep breath in through the nose. And let it go. And we're going to switch directions. Again, taking a deep breath in through the nose. And letting it go. All right, just going to shake all that energy out. One thing I love about working with hands is that we don't realize how much we use them. And then when they get tired, we feel tired. So even giving that time to work on your hands can really help boost your energy. We're just going to rub our palms together. Going to get that area warmed up. And we're going to work with the left hand first. So we're going to start going from the outer inwards, and then hopefully you'll feel a lot more relaxed and refreshed afterwards. So taking our right thumb, we're just going to connect tip of the thumb to the other tip of the thumb. And what you're going to want to do is sort of apply slight pressure to the tip of your thumb and just start to rotate it in place. So this point that we're stimulating here, it's connected to the brain as well as your thymus. The thymus is a very powerful hormonal gland, and it can help, stimulating this point will help release a lot of relaxing hormones throughout the body. And if you're feeling stressed out, you find you're in your head a lot, stimulating the brain thymus point will help to relax you. I'll usually go for a point for like 30 seconds to a minute. We're going to move on. Pointer finger. That same motion going around the tip of the finger. So what we're stimulating now is the sinus point. Good for the sniffles and this cold weather that we've been having. We're going to go back to the thumb, and this time we're going to kind of work our way down. So almost as if you're kneading the thumb while working down. I kind of look at it as like a caterpillar walk. Go over that area another time. We're just going to work our way down the fingers. They take so much stress. Sometimes we don't even notice. And in that caterpillar-like movement, the next point that we'll be dressing, it's just along this meaty part of your hand, or the thumb, the base of the thumb. Coming in this direction, and that caterpillar movement. This will be the thyroid, the parathyroid, according to the reflexology literature. So this will help stimulate relaxing hormones again. If you have any thyroid issues, you may feel some sensitivity in this area. Like I feel it right here, like that's a sensitive spot. And if you find this, you have any sensitive spots here and you want to sit with it, feel free to do rotation as I'm doing right now. You may feel some of those crystal, like those bumpy feelings. And this next one's my favorite one. So I hold a lot of anxiety in my stomach. So this right here in the center, that's where the reflexology point for the stomach is. Going down towards the hold of the wrist, right in the center. and that caterpillar-like movement, stimulating the reflex point, sending that good energy vibes to relax your stomach. And the last point that we'll be addressing on this side is the shoulder. So just between the ring finger and the pinky finger, go down the shoulder. A lot of us carry tension through our shoulders. completely normal. So we're going to do a little bit of pinpoint rotation in that area. Again, if it feels really crunchy for you, just lean into it as long as you're comfortable. And then one final point, I'm just going to throw this in, the bonus, just to really release everything. We're actually going to go just below the wrist here. So right where the wrist folds on the pinky side, this point right here. It's actually an acupressure point. It's also can be found in acupuncture as well. And this point actually helps with constipation. So if we're holding anything in our bodies, in our emotions, stimulating this point will just really help to eject everything that you've been holding on to and release. Give your hand a shake there, a little roll of the wrist, and then we'll move on to the right. So as I said, you'll find the same reflex point on each hand, but there's a few that are different just because of the way our body is situated. So we'll start with the same point on our thumb. Stimulating brain and thymus reflex points to relax them and bring them back to a state of calm, just relieving that stress off of us. Moving on to the next. Moving on to thyroid. Stomach point is in line with the third finger in the center of your palm, going down towards the wrist fold. And then shoulder point
And then the last point, so just underneath the wrist fold, in line with your pinky. This point is really good for constipation. We're going to finish that off with a nice stretch. Take one hand, pull it back towards you, nice and gentle. Way down, towards you. And a nice deep breath in. And take that. And that's it for the hand reflexology demonstration. So as I mentioned, these points that I showed are the most potent ones that you can do in 15 minutes. I'm just going to switch my camera over here.
Okay, we're back. All right, awesome. So as I mentioned, the points that I went over, it's really great for if you don't have a lot of time, but just need some like 15 minutes to just settle yourself. Working those points are so powerful. Hormones are great. But yeah, reflexology is also helpful in identifying areas where you may need a little bit more help. So, as a massage therapist, there's only so much I can do. But when we get to that point where we start to say, okay, physical pain keeps coming back, maybe it's an emotional thing, maybe it's a mental thing, then that's when I send you off to the other practitioners who can help round out that healing journey that you're on and then support you through that. So if there's any questions at all about massage therapy, reflexology, or any of these services or that I offer at Lavender Lane, feel free to ask now.
Vanessa, I have a question.
Yeah, sure.
So the points on my left hand were pretty quiet, but some on the right were quite intense. Does that have any significance?
Yes. So sometimes it's just a matter of like what we use more in terms of that, because it's like I said, they're the points are a mirror of each other. So maybe on the right side, there's more tension going on the right side, so that needs to be addressed. Yeah,
Great, thank you.
you're welcome.
Are there any other questions for Vanessa?
Some of the frequently asked questions I get from clients, whether they're new or have experience with massage therapy, is like, um, are these modalities supposed to be painful? And I say, yes. There is a good kind of pain and a bad kind of pain. One thing that I always try to let my clients know before we start is that as we're going through the session, and if you start to feel a pain where you're bracing for it and it's not feeling therapeutic anymore, then that's what it is. The therapeutic effect is diminished, and then that's when you need to let us know, like, okay, you're doing too much, like I can't handle this, because as much as we try to be in tune with you, it's always imperative to have that open door two-way communication policy going on, because we can't read your minds. So if you're in pain and it's like not feeling great, just please feel free to let us know, because you're always in charge of your sessions. Like if you're not feeling comfortable with something, let us know and we can always modify to make it more comfortable for you. Another question that I get asked frequently is like, what's the best style of massage? Honestly, it just depends on what you like. You'll always find different styles with different therapists. Personally, for me, I like doing a combination of everything, which is why acupressure, cupping, and reflexology have been helpful tools, because not only do they help identify physical points of pain, but also there may be like underlying emotional pain that goes on. And that's when I refer you to, say, Nancy, who works with EFT, the emotional side of it. So that's my 2 cents on it.
And that's the benefit of working in a wellness center with holistic and healthcare are integrated, because we can go, okay, just you need to book with this person because they're going to look at this issue. And, I'm looking at this one, but I think we need a different perspective. So, it really is exciting to work in a place where we can service people from all different perspectives.
Yeah, so true. So true.
I don't have a question, but I just wanted to comment that Vanesa's massages are fabulous. I am so relaxed, and my kids come home and like, Mom, it's like heaven. So I just wanted to share that with everybody. If you haven't tried Vanesa, she's awesome.
To book with Vanesa, you can go to our website, lavenderlaneptw.ca, and go to online booking, click on her beautiful face, and her list of services comes up right there. Thank you so much, Vanesa.
Thank you.